Conservative new media viewers and JLin fans around the world, what is up? We are here to analyze and recap the Lakers 119-108 beatdown of the Rockets tonight in Southern California. Now, this game was not as close as the final score. The Lakers were up by nearly 20 points, I think like midway through the fourth, and it just kind of put off the brakes, but we'll get more to that in a second. First, I want to tell you that we will have a full set of links about this game in the video description below the video player, including video highlights, box score, game story, so you can check that out. Now, what happened in this game overall was that Houston got beat at its own game, which is Houston likes to fast break. The Lakers beat them at the fast break. They got more fast break points, and if that happens to Houston against the Lakers, with the Lakers inside powerhouses of the Twin Towers of Howard and Powell, they're not going to win, and that's what happened tonight. They got beat at the fast break, and the Lakers just went inside when they needed to, and that's what happened. And LA hit shots when they needed to hit shots, and Houston didn't. Now, Houston didn't shoot really poorly, but they didn't shoot well enough to stay up with the Lakers. Okay, now let's get to Jeremy. Jeremy had 5 points, 1 rebound, 10 assists. He played 31 minutes, 2 for 9 shooting, 3 turnovers, and overall, I thought he played okay in this game. Now, obviously, he didn't shoot well. That needs to keep coming. But as I've said numerous times in this season, that's going to be the last thing to come back for him, is going to be his shot. Excuse me, pardon my voice. I'm just a little bit dry heat with the winter here now. That's going to be the final thing for him to come back. That's going to come back even after he's able to finish on his layups a little bit better because of the knee recovery. It's coming. It's coming. You can see he's getting better with his layups. He had that nice teardrop tonight, and he had a really nice drove left, and I thought finished right layup tonight as well. So the burst in his legs is starting to come back. As I said before, I still think it'll take 5 weeks to 11 weeks, a month and a half to 3 months for it to come fully back, but it's getting there. 2 of the turnovers that he had were in a very short period of time in the fourth quarter. He just got a little bit careless, a little bit loosey-goosey. So honestly, he should have had, 1 or 2 turnovers the most. So again, if you're getting a 10 assist to 3 turnovers, or, what should have been 2 turnovers, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. The main thing for him now is he's got to keep working and get his shot back, because other teams are sagging off of him. They're letting him shoot. And that kind of messes up Houston's offense, because then they can play off of him the same way that opponents often play off of Rajon Rondo for the Boston Celtics. They want him to shoot, and that's what teams are doing right now with Lin. Also, Darius Morris, the fill-in starting point guard for LA for Steve Nash, outplayed Lin, so I have to mention that as well. Look, like I said, he did some very nice things in this game. Houston did some decent things in this game. One of the most amazing plays this entire game was the Terrence Jones dunk over Jody Meeks. I'm sure that'll be in the highlights. That was just crazy. That was super poster, facial, in your face, everything. So I'm quite sure that'll make the highlights. That's one of the best dunks you'll probably see this entire year. One thing that occurred to me when I was watching this game, when I was watching the fourth quarter, and Jeremy had just had one of his turnovers, and he was kind of laughing about it. And I thought about the video I put up earlier tonight from the Shootaround today. And Jeremy was talking about what he was thinking during Linsanity 1.0. And, the reporter asked him, hey, what do you think about, and why did you kind of shut down? And he's like, look, man, there was so much going on. I just couldn't deal with it, basically, is what he said. And when I saw Jeremy smiling after the turnover, it just struck me, look, this is a young guy who didn't intend for any of this to happen. None of this. He never thought he was going to be a global icon. Remember, this guy was fighting to stay in the NBA for the last 2 years. So I still think there's a big part of him that's trying to adjust to everything. And I think that kind of helps me understand his whole mindset right now. Not only is he still adjusting to a new contract, a new city, being a global icon, being in demand everywhere throughout the world now. He's still trying to come back from the knee surgery and recovery. It's like everything's starting to make sense to me a little bit more. I think Jeremy is a guy who, I'm not going to say he's super sensitive, but this is a guy who is probably a little bit more personal instead of, trying to live his life out in the spotlight constantly. So I just think he's still getting used to that. And so, where I'm going to with this is I think it might take him a little bit longer to become what a lot of people hope he can become, what we want him to become in terms of a full star and superstar. I still think he's going to do it. If you followed what us last year when we covered Linsanity, I always said Jeremy Lin's going to be a star, and I think he's going to be a superstar. But watching him and listening to part of what he said, I think it might take a little bit longer. This could end up being not a lost year, but just this could end up being a transition year for him because his life is finally settled down. He finally isn't worried about sleeping on the couch or any of this stuff. And so I think there's a lot of him that might just be kind of integrating everything that he's gone through. And if you think about it, think about that. Going from a guy that's barely in the league to like mega world global icon. That's a lot to deal with. If you think about it, I don't think most people can relate to that. I can't relate to it, but I can kind of understand it. It's this guy can't do anything without everybody focusing on him. Not to mention every time he plays another team, everybody's trying to go at him. Everybody's trying to make a name off of him, and they think he's overhyped and all this stuff. So it's a lot of pressure. And again, I am confident he'll adjust to it. It just might take a bit longer than we all hoped. Maybe it will take until next year. As I've said, I don't know how many times, Steve Nash was not Steve Nash until he was in the league for about 5 years, 6 years. So Jeremy's cool. This is the second straight game he's had double-digit assist. The shot's still not there yet, but he's doing a lot of good things. He had a very nice sequence, I think, at the end of the third quarter today, where I think he hit a shot or assisted somebody for a shot, and then he stripped either Morris or Duhan and almost sunk like a running three-pointer at the end of the quarter. So the talent is there. The body's not quite there yet from the knee surgery, and it might take him a little while just to kind of mentally put it all together just because he is in a unique situation. Nobody else is in this type of situation. Nobody. If you take somebody like LeBron or Kobe, these guys were known. They were tracked and scouted for years and years before they got into the NBA. People knew they were going to be superstars. Kobe's dad was a professional basketball player. Now, he wasn't in the NBA, but he got used to that. Jeremy's not used to any of this. So this is just like, it's like going from 0 to 100 in a car in like 1 second. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. So I would just urge patience for all of his fans. Now, the haters are going to say what they're going to say. We know that. Don't worry about that. Again, don't worry. He doesn't need to be traded. He doesn't need to go with D'Antoni to L.A. He doesn't need any of that. He just needs time and some patience. And I think the organization understands that. Sometimes it doesn't seem so great. It looks like they don't trust him or whatever, but it'll work out. I'm not concerned about that. I think that'll get worked out one way or the other. I've said it in the comments recently. If push comes to shove, I think Jeremy Lin will be the last man standing. I think the coaches will be gone before Jeremy Lin's gone because the owner, Les Alexander, understands how important Jeremy Lin is. And so I don't think Jeremy Lin is going anywhere. Now, let me just have a couple thoughts here on the Lakers, for the Lakers fans. Look, Lakers look great tonight. This is the best they've looked all year, including the preseason. I've covered most of their games. I was very impressed with them tonight. This was the first time that I watched them this year where I thought, they might actually be able to win a title this year. And I know Kobe had a triple-double. He played great. There was a couple triple-doubles today. Kevin Durant also had one for Oklahoma City. Kobe got his. I just think everything comes back to Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard changes everything. Powell also played great tonight. He was hitting that mid-range shot, which he has to do. If he's going to be there, and I don't know, there's talk about trading him. If he's going to be there, he's got to be able to hit that shot to stretch the defense and keep the defense honest. But I just think Dwight, he had 28 points, 13 boards. He changes everything. Everything. He makes everything easier for Kobe. He makes everything easier for everybody. And he just, he's starting to get some of his explosiveness back, and it's impressive. I mean, he is, to me, I think he is the key. He is the key to what's going to happen for this team. If he's not that good this year, they might not even make the Western Conference Finals. If he's really good this year, they could win a title. I think everything is dependent on Dwight Howard. Kobe's playing well. He's playing well. His body's feeling pretty good. He's getting a lot more looks now, and the pace is more up and down. He's getting more shots. He's getting more good looks, good shots. He's getting more good shots. He's getting a lot easier shots. And you can see Kobe finishing layups now. Why? Because the guy guarding Dwight Howard doesn't want to leave Dwight Howard because it's going to be an alley-oop or some other dunk. And so I was very impressed with L.A. They really look good tonight. Now, you definitely, if you're an L.A. fan, you got to be happy with what you saw tonight. And this was up and down. We heard that supposedly the buses want Showtime. Well, this was Showtime, and it looked great, really well. Bench played well. Extremely impressive performance by L.A. So just wrapping up, excellent win for L.A. Houston, I'm not, they're going to lose games like this. L.A. played great. You're not going to beat them on the road when they play this well. Not for a young team like Houston. The thing that really killed Houston, I thought, tonight was even though it didn't show up in the stat sheet as much, they gave up too many offensive rebounds. There's just a couple things that they're not used to doing yet. They're a young team, and they just make some mental mistakes. And finally, with Lin, look, he didn't shoot well, but he did great on assist. He ran the team well. And as I said, I think that the learning curve for him might be a little bit slower than what we thought it was going to be based upon how everything he's gone through in the last year or so. So that's the overall analysis from here. Give us your comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down on this video. Come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group. You'll find a link for that in the video description. I am Paulette Villarreal, the NBA expert. You're watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 YouTube Jeremy Lin fan channel for Lin news and information. Thanks a lot for watching. We will talk to you again soon.